In professional wrestling, there are men who play the game. They follow the path laid out for them. They stay in their lane, they shake the right hands, they smile for the cameras. And then there's Dean Ambrose. 2016 was supposed to be the year of the beast, the year of the big dog, the year of the architect. But somewhere in between all of that, amid the chaos, the carnage, the steel chairs and barbed wire, the Lunatic Fringe had the single most important year of his WWE career. This is the story of how a guy they never fully believed in became WWE champion. This is 2016. This is Dean Ambrose. We pick up the story at the turn of the new year. Dean Ambrose walked into 2016 as the WWE Intercontinental Champion, a title he'd won from Kevin Owens at TLC the previous December. But holding gold never came easy for the Lunatic Fringe, and Owens wasn't done with them. Their rivalry intensified in the new year, with a match ending in a double countout for the Intercontinental Championship. On the January 14th episode of SmackDown, Owens accepted Ambrose's challenge to a last man standing match for the Intercontinental title at the Royal Rumble. On January 24th, the Royal Rumble pay-per-view arrived, and Ambrose put everything on the line. The actual pay-per-view opened with Dean Ambrose defending the Intercontinental Championship against Kevin Owens in a last man standing match. In the end, Ambrose pushed Owens off the top rope through two tables stacked outside the ring, and as Owens could not stand by a 10 count, Ambrose retained the title. It was a brutal, physical war, exactly the kind Ambrose was built for. But the night wasn't over. Later, in the Royal Rumble match itself, Triple H, entering at number 30, ultimately eliminated Dean Ambrose to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Ambrose came so close to the biggest prize in the company, but once again, the brass ring slipped away. A journalist covering the event praised Dean Ambrose's performance, writing that his future appears to be brightening by the minute. The people were behind him. The question was, would WWE get behind him too? Coming out of the Royal Rumble, the road to WrestleMania began taking shape. The Authority decided that Triple H would defend the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 32 against the winner of a triple threat match between Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Brock Lesnar at Fastlane. This was Ambrose's shot, a chance to leapfrog two of the biggest names in WWE and go straight to the main event of the grandest stage of them all. Prior to his triple threat match at Fastlane, Ambrose lost the Intercontinental Championship to Kevin Owens in a fatal five-way match on the February 15th episode of Raw, though Ambrose was not directly involved in the decision. The belt was gone, but the WrestleMania main event was still within reach. At Fastlane, it came down to Ambrose and Reigns, with Lesnar watching on. At the Fastlane PPV, Ambrose lost the match when he was pinned by Roman Reigns. Reigns was going to WrestleMania, but Ambrose? He wasn't going quietly. During the closing moments of the match, Brock Lesnar applied the Kimura lock on Roman Reigns, only for Dean Ambrose to attack Lesnar with a chair at the last minute, incapacitating Lesnar long enough for Reigns to pick up the win. Ambrose had cost himself the match, but he'd also poked the most dangerous bear in WWE. The next day before Raw aired, Lesnar attacked Ambrose and had him taken to the hospital in an ambulance. On Raw, Paul Heyman issued a challenge on Lesnar's behalf to anyone on the roster. Ambrose returned, in the ambulance, to challenge Lesnar to a no-holds-barred street fight at WrestleMania. Heyman accepted. Only Dean Ambrose would escape a hospital just to pick a fight with Brock Lesnar. The build was unlike anything WWE had done in years. On the March 14th edition of Raw, WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley passed the torch to Ambrose by giving him his infamous barbed wire baseball bat, Barbie. The following week, another hardcore legend, Terry Funk, gave Ambrose a chainsaw. Before WrestleMania, Ambrose also got one more title opportunity, this time directly at the WWE Championship itself. On February 29th, Ambrose demanded a match for the WWE Championship at the Roadblock PPV, in which Ambrose lost after a controversial finish. Triple H escaped again. But by this point, no one could deny that Ambrose belonged in the conversation at the very top of WWE. April 3rd, 2016, AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Over 100,000 people in attendance. WrestleMania 32. And Dean Ambrose was ready to go to war. Lesnar executed 13 suplexes on Ambrose throughout the match, while Ambrose used kendo sticks and chairs in an attempt to keep the beast down. Ambrose also attempted to use the chainsaw Terry Funk had given him, which didn't start. After Ambrose threw numerous chairs into the ring, he countered an F5 attempt and executed dirty deeds onto the pile of chairs for a near fall that had the entire stadium on its feet. In the end, Ambrose brought in the barbed wire baseball bat, but Lesnar delivered a German suplex and then an F5 on the pile of chairs to win the match. Afterwards, Lesnar sprayed Ambrose with a fire extinguisher. The Lunatic Fringe lost. But something changed that night in Dallas. WrestleMania 32 may well always be looked upon as Ambrose's coming out party. The fact that Ambrose was able to make Lesnar look mortal at times suggested the WWE brass had a ton of confidence in his abilities. He didn't win, but he earned something more lasting than a victory. He earned the respect of every single person watching. Following WrestleMania, Ambrose began a rivalry with Chris Jericho. The feud ignited when Jericho's famous highlight reel talk show segment was replaced on Raw by Ambrose's own version, the Ambrose Asylum. Jericho, who considered himself the best in the world at everything, was not amused. The Jericho feud was a perfect showcase for everything that made Ambrose special. He could brawl, he could talk, he could do comedy, and he made every segment must-see television. He defeated Jericho at Payback, and then again at Extreme Rules in an Asylum match later that month to end the feud. The Asylum match, a steel cage lined with weapons hanging from the walls, was tailor-made for the Lunatic Fringe, and Ambrose delivered one of the most entertaining matches of the year. But June 19th, 2016, that is the date that changed everything. Money in the Bank. Ambrose won the Money in the Bank ladder match. He had the briefcase, he had the contract, he had a guaranteed WWE Championship opportunity whenever he chose to cash it in. And he didn't wait long. At the event, Rollins regained the WWE World Heavyweight Championship from Reigns in the main event, only to lose the title to Ambrose immediately afterwards when Ambrose successfully cashed in his Money in the Bank contract. In just a matter of minutes, all three members of The Shield, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose, had each held the WWE Championship on the very same night. The Lunatic Fringe was WWE Champion. As SmackDown Live launched as its own weekly show, Dean Ambrose was the face of the Blue brand. He was the champion, the top dog, and his first title defense on SmackDown would come against Dolph Ziggler at SummerSlam. Ambrose feuded with Dolph Ziggler over the title during the summer, and at SummerSlam, they collided. Ambrose beat Ziggler. It wasn't the flashiest feud for a reigning WWE champion. Ziggler at the time wasn't positioned as the biggest threat, but Ambrose made it work. He defended the title, he represented SmackDown, and all the while, a storm was building on the horizon in the form of a certain phenomenal one. A Jay Styles, the man who had arrived in WWE at the Royal Rumble at the start of the year as an electric, jaw-dropping debut, had quickly become SmackDown's hottest commodity, and he had his eyes on the WWE Championship. At Backlash, Styles and Ambrose delivered a thrilling contest for the WWE Championship. Both men came literally less than a second away from snatching the victory. Ambrose connected with Dirty Deeds and Styles locked in the Calf Crusher, but neither could secure the win. It was not until Styles snuck in a low blow while the referee was temporarily down and then hit the Styles Clash that he was able to capture his first WWE World Championship. Just like that, after 84 days, the reign of Dean Ambrose as WWE Champion was over. After just 84 days, Ambrose's one and only WWE title reign was over, with it feeling unfulfilled and lackluster when all was said and done. Though that was largely no fault of his own, but rather the result of WWE's booking and the chaotic landscape surrounding him. He had deserved so much more. But the story wasn't finished. Even without the title, Ambrose remained one of SmackDown's most important stars. At No Mercy, Ambrose and John Cena took on AJ Styles in a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. Styles retained, but Ambrose's profile on the Blue brand remained sky high. Then came Survivor Series, the night that had the entire WWE Universe buzzing. The traditional 5-on-5 elimination match pitted Team Raw against Team SmackDown, and on Team SmackDown stood Dean Ambrose alongside his former Shield brothers, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, who were on Team Raw. All three members executed their signature triple powerbomb on Ambrose's rival, AJ Styles, after Ambrose turned on his team to attack Styles. For one brief, electric moment, the Shield was back. The crowd erupted, and even though it wasn't official, it was a reminder that these three men together were magic. As 2016 drew to a close, Dean Ambrose found himself setting his sights on a new prize, the WWE Intercontinental Championship, held by The Miz. On the December 20th episode of SmackDown Live, then Intercontinental Champion The Miz attacked Ambrose with a skull-crushing finale after Ambrose had defeated Randy Orton. The following week, Ambrose attacked The Miz backstage after Miz made comments about Ambrose's real-life relationship with Renee Young. The feud was personal. The feud was heated, and it would carry right into the new year, setting up a moment on January 3rd, 2017, when Ambrose would win the Intercontinental title for the second time in his career. But that's a story for another chapter. When you look back at 2016 through the lens of Dean Ambrose, you see something remarkable. He began the year as Intercontinental Champion, fought Kevin Owens in a last man standing match, nearly won the Royal Rumble, challenged for the WWE title at Roadblock, went to war with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, feuded with Chris Jericho, won Money in the Bank, became WWE Champion, survived the brand split, defended the title at SummerSlam and Battleground, lost it to AJ Styles at Backlash, competed in a triple threat at No Mercy, and closed the year circling The Miz. In 12 months, Dean Ambrose did more than most wrestlers accomplish in a career. He was overlooked. He was underbooked at times. His title reign was shorter than it should have been. But none of that could dim the truth that every single fan in every single arena already knew. Dean Ambrose was that guy. The kind of performer who made everything he touched feel real, feel gritty, feel important. He was the Lunatic Fringe, and 2016 was his year.